Discipline is louder than dreams. Everyone has a dream. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants the life, the respect, the peace, the house, the recognition. But wanting something doesn't make it real. Dreaming doesn't make it real. What makes it real is showing up over and over, without applause, without attention, without immediate results. It's about doing what's necessary when no one's watching. The world is full of dreamers, but it's discipline that separates the fantasizers from the finishers. Your dreams don't care how much you want them. They only respond to how hard you're willing to work. Waking up early, staying late, sacrificing comfort, delaying gratification, these are the things that breathe life into dreams. You can't meditate your way into mastery. You can't visualize your way into excellence. Dreams are fragile, and discipline is the only thing that can carry them through adversity. Motivation fades, passion burns out, inspiration dies. But discipline is bulletproof. Discipline is doing it when you're tired, doing it when it's boring, doing it when you don't feel like it. It's not sexy, it's not fun, it's not glamorous, but it's necessary. People talk about hustle, they talk about drive, but when the hype disappears, when the noise dies down, what's left is discipline. It's brushing your teeth when you're late for work. It's showing up to the gym when it's raining. It's studying when your friends are out. It's working on your goals while the world is sleeping. That's what wins. That's what changes lives. That's what makes you unstoppable. Dreams can inspire you. They can spark the fire, but only discipline builds the furnace to keep it burning. Without discipline, dreams are just hallucinations. They're fantasies you cling to so you can feel good in the moment, but they never materialize. Discipline is the difference between wishing and winning, between potential and performance, between regret and respect. You can dream big all you want, but without action, without habits, without sacrifice, you're standing still while life moves on. How many people do you know who talk a big game? They have massive ideas, grand plans. They're going to do this, and someday I'll do that. But when you look at their lives, there's no movement, no progress, just noise. That's the reality of dreamers without discipline. They become experts in talking and failures in execution. Because discipline is the language of results, and results don't lie. Discipline means doing it even when it doesn't make sense, even when you don't see immediate rewards, even when everything in your body tells you to quit. It's the art of consistency over intensity. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be persistent, every single day. That's how you build resilience. That's how you become a warrior. You take the pain, you take the boredom, you take the grind, and you turn it into something powerful. You think champions are born? No. Champions are made in silence. While the world sleeps, they're working. While others complain, they're training. While everyone else gives up, they go one more rep, one more hour, one more page. Because they understand the truth. The dream is the seed, but discipline is the water. Without the water, it dies. Without discipline, it dries up and disappears. Do you know what discipline really is? It's self-respect. It's telling yourself, I deserve more, and proving it with action. It's looking in the mirror and saying, you are not going to waste this life. It's walking past temptation, ignoring distractions, enduring discomfort, all because your goals are louder than your feelings. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're sad. It doesn't care if it's fair. It just shows up. And that's what makes it invincible. People think they need motivation to start, but that's backward. Start first. The motivation will follow. Action creates energy. Energy creates momentum. Momentum creates results. And results build confidence. That's the chain reaction discipline ignites. You don't sit around waiting to feel ready. You get up, show up, and do it anyway. That's how the winners do it. That's how legends are made. Every time you hit snooze, you choose the dream over the discipline. Every time you quit early, you choose comfort over greatness. Every time you make an excuse, you trade long-term power for short-term pleasure. That's a debt you'll eventually pay. And it's expensive, because dreams without action become regrets. They become the stories you tell yourself when you're older, filled with what-ifs and "I could've." But it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose discipline. You can choose to be relentless. You can choose to be the kind of person who doesn't need to be reminded, who doesn't need to be pushed, who doesn't need external validation. You can choose to be driven by purpose, not emotion. And when you make that decision, the world changes. Not because the world changes, but because you do. You start becoming dangerous. Why? Because a person with discipline is a threat. They can't be manipulated. They can't be controlled by trends, by moods, by opinions. They're focused, and focus is rare. Focus is powerful. The disciplined don't wait for the right time. They make the time right. They don't look for shortcuts. They create long roads and dominate them. Discipline is what builds trust in yourself. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you get stronger. Every time you show up when you don't want to, you become more powerful. Discipline is not just about doing, it's about becoming. Becoming someone unshakable, unbreakable, someone who doesn't crumble when life gets hard because they've already trained in the fire. You think discipline is painful? Try regret. Try waking up 10 years from now, realizing you let your potential rot because you couldn't say no to laziness. Try living with the knowledge that you were capable of greatness, but settled for mediocrity. That's the real pain. Discipline is the cure. It's not punishment. It's the highest form of self-love. It's saying, I believe in me enough to do the work. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall between you and your dream. Every time you choose comfort, you make the wall higher. Every time you skip the work, the wall thickens. But every time you choose discipline, you chip away at that wall. Every day you show up, you get closer. You may not see the results today, but keep going. Results always follow discipline. Always. The people you admire, they're not special. They're not superhuman. They're disciplined. That's it. That's the secret. They didn't wish their way to success. They worked their way. When it was cold, when it was tough, when they were exhausted, they did it anyway. And because they did, now they live lives most people only dream about. But it wasn't magic. It was discipline. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your discipline. That's the floor. That's your foundation. You can dream of building a skyscraper, but if you can't lay one brick consistently, you'll never get off the ground. Discipline is the architect of success. It plans, it builds, it endures, and it doesn't need applause. People will doubt you. They'll mock your discipline. They'll say you're obsessed. Let them. They don't understand. You're not building for today. You're building for the future. You're stacking habits, routines, systems. And while they chase dopamine, you're chasing legacy. While they want attention, you want respect. While they want likes, you want results. That's the difference. Success isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be noticed. It's quiet. It's disciplined. It's the person who shows up at 5 a.m. while the world sleeps. It's the one who works in silence and lets their results scream. That's who you need to become. Not the dreamer, the doer, not the talker, the builder, not the follower, the creator, the one who doesn't just chase dreams, but earns them. You don't get what you want. You get what you work for, every single time. And if you're not willing to bleed for it, sweat for it, fight for it, then stop saying you want it. Because discipline doesn't lie. It reveals the truth. And the truth is, the disciplined win. Always. Eventually. Inevitably. They win. So the next time you feel tired, remind yourself, discipline is louder than dreams. The next time you feel tempted to quit, remind yourself, discipline is louder than dreams. When no one believes in you, when the results are slow, when the grind feels endless, remind yourself, discipline is louder than dreams. Because when the dust settles, when the crowds fade, and all that's left is who did the work, you'll be standing there. Not because you were lucky, not because you were gifted, but because you were disciplined. And that's what makes you unstoppable.